Hello everybody, it's Philly Cuts with another Hump Day Haul. We are up to number 74. You know, every week where I get together with you, we talk about the stack of overpriced new comic books I buy every Wednesday, new comic book release day. Hey, it's a thing, man. Just like I got my hair all chopped off, you know. I was kind of going for that Brad Pitt Fury look, my previous hairstyle, you know, if you noticed it was like slicked back and stuff, and it just didn't work out, man. Didn't work out, so I did a hard reset. This is actually the shortest my hair's been in like probably 15 years, so it is a bit different feeling, but liberating, you know, low maintenance. Alright, enough with that. Let's get started. I got 10 books. Every time when I think I'm going to cut down on the amount of books I get, and last week was a light week for me. I had 6. I'm back up to 10 this week. But I got a lot of really nice books that I enjoy. Popular books, you know. Popular books for the kids. Speaking of which, we have Batman number 49. Look at this cover, folks. There's Bruce Wayne. Shadow of the Bat. The trauma of the Bat bearing down on him. This is super heavy, like part, I don't know, 27, something like that? No, I think it's super heavy part 8 or part 9. I can't quite recall. It's one of these epic DC story arcs, right? Which kind of backs up the reason why, trades might be the way to go. But this explores Bruce Wayne. What does Bruce Wayne mean to Batman? And it asks some very interesting questions. Could Bruce Wayne be Batman without the trauma that created Batman? Or would Bruce Wayne be better off, or would Batman be better off if Bruce Wayne just let go of that childhood trauma? You know, his parents getting gunned down and shit, and that's why Batman was created. I don't need to get into that story, right? I don't think you'd be watching this if I had to. Interesting topics. The one thing you're going to notice in this issue is there's no Greg Capullo. There's a guest artist. I guess he's done work on Batman before. Yannick Pauet. It sounds French. Pauet, maybe? You can tell the art is very different. Alright, here's the big thing, man. Apparently Bruce Wayne created a machine imprinting his memories of Batman before he had that final battle with the Joker in Endgame. I don't remember if that was mentioned in the Endgame story arc. I don't quite recall. I can't quite remember. But interesting. So he has this machine. And I think that what is really telling, or is going to be telling about this issue, is the relationship that Bruce Wayne has with Alfred. And for some reason, Alfred's, amputated hand really stands out in this issue. I'm kind of wondering if in the past issues they really showed it quite a bit. But it really stands out and is very prominent in this issue. You really take notice of it. And basically, you see the desperation that Alfred has trying to prevent Bruce Wayne to going back down into that cave, because he knows that if Bruce Wayne goes back down into that cave, he has access to this machine and he is going to use it. And Alfred just can't stand the torture that Bruce Wayne has put himself through being Batman. So it's very interesting. That whole dynamic is going to be very interesting. Hoping we're going to get some more insight on that. And another thing that this is doing, too, this issue, it's kind of exploring the thing with Bruce Wayne putting the memory of Batman onto this machine is that he has some options, okay? The option being he could take these memories back of remembering what it meant to be Batman, but he kind of destroys himself. Bruce Wayne kind of gets erased. Or he can use this machine to create a template of other Batmen. Interesting, right? Interesting. It's kind of like similar to the whole Mecha Bat thing and how the new commissioner of Gotham PD wants to put a mecha bat in every major city in the United States. Kind of similar, kind of parallels there. I don't know if we're ever going to see a storyline where that happens, right? Like the mecha bats versus the Bruce Wayne imprinted Batman. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird. I am expecting, though, kind of a Bruce Wayne Batman versus Commissioner Gordon Batman. I'm kind of anticipating that. I'm just having a feeling that once Bruce Wayne comes back as Batman, or an erased Bruce Wayne, however they're going to play this, if, Commissioner Gordon Batman is going to step down willingly, or are they going to coexist together? I think it's going to be really interesting how they do that. But anyway, this shows kind of alternate Batmans and alternate universes. Kind of have like a futuristic Batman in this futuristic city here. So you get kind of different glimpses of these different Batmen, which is pretty interesting. They give you some more here. So kind of a cool look, cool kind of what-if scenarios. And we're getting all set up for the showdown in number 50, Batman vs. Mr. Bloom, who is noticeably absent in this issue. I'll spoil that for you guys. All right, if you're sick of Batman, Commissioner Gordon Batman, if you're sick of a depowered Superman, although he recently regained his powers with the aid of kryptonite, watch my previous comic book haul to get details on that, you're going to love Tom Taylor's doing the writing in Batman Superman number 29, people. And look at that hook. Do you know who that belongs to? Those black painted fingernails. We get an appearance of the last Caesarian, the only Caesarian, if I'm even saying that right, Lobo. Lobo makes a huge appearance in this. I'm loving the artwork in here by Robson Roca and Julio Ferraro with coloring by Blonde. I don't understand the whole Prince kind of name for colorist, right? I don't know. It's just strange. Like Jacques, because Jacques' a colorist and an artist, but I always wondered what was up with that. But these guys are doing great artwork. Lobo is back. Apparently there's a bounty on Batman. Now, there's a great sequence in here between Batman and Lobo, and I don't know if it's a jab at Wolverine or what, because I know that a lot of people kind of like Lobo. There's always been kind of comparisons to Lobo, to Wolverine, namely in the healing capabilities. Lobo can, heal himself very rapidly, much like Wolverine. But check this out. Batman and Lobo have a showdown, and look at Batman's hand, dude. There's claws coming out of it like Wolverine, and then he slices Lobo's finger off. I don't know if you can tell. And then these guys kind of do battle. All right, this is the last Kryptonian storyline. In the last issue, Batman and Superman stumble upon a dead body of a giant lizard being. And I don't know if I finished my last thought, but if you're sick of, Commissioner Gordon Batman and depowered Superman, this is a flashback story, so Batman and Superman are both at full strength. I don't know if I finished that thought. Anyway, that's the deal there. They stumble upon this dead body. This body writes something in Kryptonian as a clue for Batman and Superman to follow. Well, it turns out that this being's father comes to reclaim the body of his daughter. And check out how big this guy is. Can you see Batman and Superman by my finger? Yeah, this dude is huge. He is massive. And he kind of talks to Batman and Superman. They talk about, Superman's battles with Darkseid and how he survived Darkseid. The rest of the universe has taken notice of this. This guy kind of steers Superman in the right direction. He needs to head to this giant, super-powered, super yellow sun, which is candy for Superman. And it's going to be really interesting to see where this story leads. Again, I'm saying the artwork in this is beautiful. It's tremendous. It's probably some of the best artwork I've seen since I started collecting again for a Superman, Batman comic, certainly. just really captures Superman. I mean, if you're sick of seeing fucking Superman in a t-shirt and blue jeans, this is the issue for you, man. Pick it up. All right, the IDW Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover continues. There's the Turtles in the dome of Shredder's helmet. That's Shredder. Factions are now being formed. In the last issue, we did have the showdown between the Turtles. Between the Turtles and Batman. It ended up being, I would say, a tie, because Splinter intervened, had to kind of break up the Turtles and Batman. Well, it turns out, you know, the Turtles and Batman form an allegiance. And Shredder has formed an allegiance with the Penguin. Now, we know that the Turtles, Shredder, the Foot Clan, they have been transported from New York City to Gotham. We know how it happened, this special machine that the Turtles and Shredder need parts for in order to get back to New York City, because that machine is broken. But what we do get in this issue is why? Why did this happen? Why were the Turtles sent here? And this is a great sequence here. I think the artwork has definitely improved in this issue. Freddie Williams III doing the artwork. The only complaint I have, once again, the Turtles look great. Splinter looks great. I just don't like how he's drawing Batman. I mean, he just looks like fucking, you know, Kai Green to the 10th power. The Turtles look great, though. And like I said, so does Splinter. This issue definitely takes a turn and gets more violent. You do see the aftermath of someone getting beheaded. I'm not going to say who. There's definitely a lot more fighting, again, between the Turtles and the Foot Clan and Batman. And I'm not going to tell you if he mixes it up with Shredder, but it's a lot more exciting issue. It certainly picks up in here. And there is a surprise ending. A surprise villain from the Batman universe makes an appearance. I'm not going to tell you. All right, more Gotham City fun. Catwoman, number 49. This is the third story in the new story arc, written by Fran Thierry and the artwork of Anika Miranda. You got Catwoman on the run, man. She is being hunted. There are bounties for the Catwoman, not only by the Gotham Underworld, the Mafia. You know, if you made it through Jill Valentine's magnus opus of Catwoman as leader of the Gotham mob crime syndicate, then you'll understand why they want her ass. But Gotham PD is after her. She's been framed for murder. And as this cover indicates, this beautiful cover, Batgirl and Killer Croc, who seems to be the only ally, true ally, that Catwoman seems to have, in many of the issues anyway. Killer Croc always seemed pretty loyal. He ends up getting in on the action because the Penguin has issued $1 million bounty on Selena Kyle's head. And this has great atmosphere, this issue. The artwork in here is incredible as well. I love the rain all throughout the issue. It just gives it a great feel. The paneling that Miranda does in this issue also is very good. We do have a lot of action in here. Again, you do have Batgirl, Croc, and Catwoman mixing it up in here pretty extensively. And it's interesting to see where this is going to go. The whole crux of the story is that Catwoman was hired to do this big heist to steal this fat diamond. It's just huge, worth millions upon millions of dollars. her longtime fence that she uses, to unload her goods once she receives them, ends up getting killed, and it turns out that murder has been pinned on Selina Kyle. This explores corruption in the Gotham City Police Department. One of the lieutenants, I believe, in the Gotham City Police Department, it's not who you think, has, nefarious goals behind all of this. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really liking seeing Catwoman out of that whole, Mario Puzo crime woman role. And just kind of a return to, the heisting and the wheeling and dealing that's involved with being a cat burglar, yo. So one more panel there. But looking good, man. Looking good. I'm loving it. Catwoman, return to form. No longer on the keep or sleep list. I'm keeping it. Okay, we got another Tom Taylor title. We also have the artwork of some veteran Green Lantern people on here. Ethan Van Sciver is the artist in Green Lantern Corp's Edge of Oblivion #2. This is another 6-issue story. I don't know, man. I can't believe that the Green Lantern Corp is not having just their own regular series all the time. I don't know why they're doing these, 6-issue limited series here, limited series there. The one before this one was Lost Army. This continues that story, essentially. I mean, just for all intents and purposes, this could just be Lost Army, 6 through 12. But anyway, maybe it's a tactic for them to sell more books to attract more readers. Who knows, right? Always comes down to the bottom line. I just can't wrap my head around it, because pre-Convergence, the Green Lantern universe had so many titles, right? You had Green Lantern, of course, Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, you had Sinestro, you had the Red Lanterns. So just a ton of stuff. And then to just whittle that down to like 2 ongoing series, that being Green Lantern and Sinestro, it's just surprising. But the gang is all here. They got to make it back home. You got Kilowog, you got Gardner, you got Stewart, you got, oh my God, I forget who that guy is, Simon Bez. The lantern that could, resurrect the dead for a minute. They got to help these chinless wonders here, these giant chinless folk. They got to help them. They got to help this planet. The Green Lanterns have happened to come across one of the only viable planets left in this lost universe. And these giant chinless wonders are hiding a secret that lives deep in the recesses of their planet. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You will find out in here. I don't want to spoil it for you. But it does cause some tension in the ranks between the Green Lanterns, particularly Guy Gardner and Kilowog. There's some tension. Guy Gardner and Kilowog definitely in this run, certainly in the Lost Army, the tensions were brewing. And it does start to come to a bit of a simmer here, people. It's starting to rumble. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Tom does in this. And fuck it, this is the last panel. Spoiler alert. They do start to mix it up. And you gotta wait till issue #3 to find out who wins that battle. I don't know. I think I would put my money on Kilowog, I love Kilowog, you poozers. All right, we got Constantine #9. This sees Constantine getting sent straight to motherfucking hell, people. He gets put there by the demon Neron. Now, a lot of strange things have been happening in New York City. A lot of magical, a lot of whimsical things. There's been trees coming to life, killing people, ripping people apart in Central Park. Gargoyles have been coming to life. Spookers, spooks and specters, whatever you want to call them. Ghosts, people, demons, been popping out of the woodwork. And our favorite demon hunter, if you will, Constantine needs to set it straight. I love this book, man. I like Constantine's attitude. He's funny, man. He's kind of like a curmudgeon, a young curmudgeon. But it's kind of like he's thrust in this role and he doesn't really want to be in it. You know, like one of those kind of guys. You know, sort of like it's a dirty job, but someone has to do it. It's great. And you do see bits and pieces of hell in this. Reminds me quite a bit of Hellraiser, to be honest with you. Especially the part where one of them, a gate to hell, like, opens up. And all this, like, barbed wire and stuff starts coming out. And it just, you know, it's just very reminiscent of Clive Barker and Hellraiser. You know, those hook chains coming and taking someone back into the dark recesses of hell. It turns out, too, while in hell, Constantine meets up with an old demon flame, Blythe. And apparently he sent her back to hell, but they definitely had a thing going on with one another prior to that. So Blythe, I guess, is going to maybe be Constantine's ticket out of hell. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Papa Midnight continues, too, in this issue. So you kind of have this team forming up with Constantine, whereas before, the last couple arcs have been these solo adventures. Or actually, this is the middle of the second arc. I'm sorry. The first arc was pretty much Constantine. But there you go. You got Papa Midnight, Blythe, and Constantine kind of forming a team, and we'll see where it goes, all right? And it's $3, too. That's a bonus as well. Okay, I got one Marvel book, Darth Vader, number 16. Vader Down has been completed. I told you last time I wasn't exactly satisfied with Vader Down. It was a bit anticlimactic because we all know that Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader don't have their showdown until the end of Empire Strikes Back. All these stories in Darth Vader and Star Wars are bridger stories between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. So it's anticlimactic. I think that where Star Wars and Darth Vader, these comic books, are going to shine is when they're introducing us to new worlds and new beings and new people. And you certainly get that in the start of this new story arc. Book 3, Part 1, The Shu-torun War. Basically, Darth Vader is sent to this planet, Shu-torun, to keep them in line. There's been rebelling on this planet. This planet is necessary for the Empire because they're extracting very valuable minerals and ores out of the planet. And what I love about the opening of this issue, if you remember, in the last of Vader Down, you know, the Emperor is very displeased with Darth Vader, obviously because the Death Star has been destroyed. There was also a big munitions depot in the first couple issues of Darth Vader that the rebels ended up destroying, and that pissed off the Emperor. So the Emperor is like tinkering around with new types of beings, cyborg-esque Jedis, if you will, that he's using to try to take out Vader. One of these is Mon Calamari, who became General Carbon. And Darth Vader ripped this motherfucker to shreds in Vader Down. He ripped him to shreds. And the opening of this issue, I love it. He brings the carcass to the Emperor. And he straight up tells the Emperor, if you wish me to prove myself, Master, give me a fight worthy of my time. So I just like it. I like the attitude. I like that Vader is not afraid. He's defiant. In the movies, until, you know, Return of the Jedi, right? Darth Vader was so subservient to the Emperor. And I like that we're seeing glimpses of Darth Vader in this series where he's not completely subservient to the Emperor, and he's almost kind of, you know, in his face. Fuck you. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen a better showdown between the Emperor and Darth Vader. We never really got that. We never really had that fulfilling of a story. But the artwork is great in this. It'll be interesting to see how this goes down. If you want to read an interesting story and get some background story on Shu-torun, read Darth Vader Annual #1, because in that book, it actually shows Darth Vader massacring this family that's, in charge of Shu-torun. And he ends up putting the youngest daughter in place of power. So almost like putting in like a puppet leader, so to speak. Because I guess he feels that he's going to be able to control this youngest daughter a lot more easily than her father, the king, who was showing much more of a defiant attitude. So yeah, Darth Vader Annual #1. Check it out. You get some good insight. Okay, Dark Horse Comics. We get Abe Sapien #31. On the cover again is Gustav Sobel. If you want to read an amazing backstory about this demonologist who now is proving to be most influential in the end of the world, in the end of the earth, check out Abe Sapien #30. I review it, I don't know, check back 4 comic book hauls ago. I show you some great pictures of the artwork. You know what I'm doing here. Gustav Sobel is explored even more in this issue. You have Sebastian Fumara back on the artwork. Gustav returns back to his school. Oh, what's the name of it? The Black School. And in this building, the Black School, which seems to be in this old, like, watermill place, of all places. It's very nondescript. Well, remember, man, he's a fucking Satanist, so, I guess they're always hiding out in barns and shit, right? I mean, isn't that where they hang out? Anyway, he returns to this Black School. Disciples, students of him, have turned into flies. They're affiliated with the House of Flies in Hell. So there's a strong affiliation there. And it's looking like Gustav may eventually be transforming into one of these flies. He comes back to this school to pick up some books. Now, I don't know if there's spell books that he's going to need to help conjure up some more beasties, to help conjure up Satan. Interestingly enough, one of these books is missing a page. I imagine it's probably a key page. I'm not too sure if it's been explored once in BPRD or something else, but if you look at the title of this book, it's something to do with the apocalypse. I'm sorry if my camera isn't tuning in well enough for you to see that. But we do also get some more answers of what Abe Sapien's role is going to be in the end of the world here, which is great, right? We know that he's Landon Call. We know that Abe Sapien was once a human scientist. But, what's his purpose? We know that he's like this hybrid man-fish character, possibly the first versions of humans. We do get some more answers to the Owned Society right here. So we do get some different answers here to the Owns mystery. And there's also some good discussions about the Vril, the firepower that is so prominent in this series. But check it out, man. Again, this is so dense and thick. Like I said, I'm thinking of starting a Magnola-verse series where I just dedicate time to Magnola books. Abe Sapien, BPRD, Hellboy books when they come out, Lord Baltimore, The Witch Hunter, Joe Golem now. There's always Lobster Johnson. There are always Mike Mignola books coming out, and I want to dedicate more time to it. So, stay tuned, guys. All right, Collin Bun, Harrow County, #9. This has a guest artist. It is Carla Speed McNeil, and she does an amazing job. Look, Tyler Crook, the ongoing artist in this series, does the cover. That's the skinless boy. Now, this reminds me of Hellraiser, because this boy has no skin. But I give props to McNeil, because she takes on Tyler Crook's tradition in the opening page, which is always the cover of a 2-page spread. That's of an engine, a locomotive that you can't see because the glare is so bad. I'm loving that, dude. Carry on the tradition. But she does a great job in here Look at this skinless boy. He looks great. He looks great. Apparently he can't talk without the skin on. If you've been following this series, you know that Emma, the lead character, has been followed around by this skinless boy who's been serving as like her protector. You get in this issue some backstory of this skinless boy. Look at how creepy he is sometimes, though, watching over her at night. It's like Uncle Frank at fucking Hellraiser, man. He finds a skin. Is it his skin? That's something I've always wondered, right? Emma is carrying around this skin of a boy, and that skin can talk. So the interesting thing is that this skinless boy eventually puts on the skin. Here he is holding it, caressing it, guarding it with his life. He puts on this skin, and apparently it looks like it does not fit. Look at how loose that looks, man. It's like someone after having gastro bypass surgery, right? Look at that. Kind of loose. Loose in the caboose, right? Do we find out who the skin belongs to? What boy? So I'm really intrigued. I'm really interested to see how it's going. Emma, surprisingly, takes a big back seat in this issue, as does her evil sister. So we gotta see. We gotta see what happens in this issue. This is, definitely Collin Bun at his best. I feel like this is his magnus opus, if you ask me. This is just really his quintessential work, at least since I've been reading comics again. And it's definitely been my favorite. And this is really where Collin Bun shines. There's this strange guy in the beginning, right? He's this drifter. And he's eating a dead bird, man. Just plucks it up and eats it and munches on it, dude. Yeah. And that guy has like a connection to the skinless boy. So I'm really interested. They got me reinvigorated. All right, and finally, Image Comics, one of the best for last. Descender number 10, the story of Tim 21, boy robot, who lives in a world where robots are now hated, hunted, outlawed. Tim 21 and his ragtag team of companions make it to the Machine Moon, which actually is this Machine Moon, as the name indicates, buried within an asteroid field. That's how they keep hidden from the rest of the universe. It's like a safe haven for robots. This is just a tremendous story written by Jeff Lemire. He's also writing Plutonia right now. Dustin Gwynn does the artwork, which is great. It's kind of like this frantic-looking, watercolor-esque, beautiful, beautiful work. I'm loving it. It's unique. It's different. Tim 21, you just feel for him, man. Also, he's met another version of himself known as Tim 22. In the last issue, they have this great exchange. They talk about where they were stationed. Tim 21 was stationed on a mining moon with a family. Tim 22 ended up working for an old man who needed a caretaker. And they had a poignant conversation about why do humans seem to just throw away their elderly when things start to become a little bit malfunctioned and broken. Why do humans just seem to discard them? Is that what is going to happen to us when we start to break down or when we malfunction and have a problem? It was just really poignant and just had me thinking, about like elderly people and the horrible conditions of so many nursing homes and just how in the United States we don't really have, multi-generational families living under one roof like they do in many other countries. So even just like a little thing like that just, stimulates thought. Also, the great thing in this book, too, is that Tim 21's human brother is hunting him. He has become a bounty hunter. I believe what's known as a scrapper, I think it's called, if I don't remember. And he's paired up with this odd alien-looking guy who reminds me of that big Juggernaut character in Mass Effect. I can't remember what his name is, but I think if you're a fan of Mass Effect, you'll know what I'm talking about. Rex or Rax, I forget what his name is. So it's kind of like a unique interplay between those two. It's just a well-written story, and it's going to go to 40 issues. So we're only on 10, so we're a quarter of a way through, and if the writing for this keeps up the way that it is, I'm in, dude, for the long haul. And I highly recommend this book, man. I can't say enough about it. My only complaint is that it's just too damn short, you know, like a lot of Image books. They're just very, very short. And you can kind of read through them pretty quick. Although, you know, Jeff Lemire does write a lot of text in here, so there's more interactions. I can't wait to read between Tim 21 and Tim 22. Tim 22 actually dyed his hair red so that other people in their group could tell them apart more easily, because they do look exactly the same. So, alright, dudes, that's been another comic book haul. Hey, I'm going to be watching your tag videos. I know you guys have made them. I'm going to watch them, and I'll be commenting on them. I can't wait to see what you guys have down the pipeline in 2016, and maybe we can hook up one way or another in a round table, whatever. If anybody knows how to set that up on Skype, let me know. And maybe we can set up a time and just talk some freaking books, man. Alright, let me pick a cover of the week. I'm thinking, oh my lord. I am liking Catwoman. It's always a DC book, isn't it? But the Catwoman fucking title, the covers are so good, man. I love it. I'm loving that scissoring. Ooh la la. Alright, dudes. Peace. See you soon. See you next week. Bye!